Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm doing another thrift flip. I'm super excited for today's video though because this idea came to me yesterday. It's 7:30 and I just came up with the best sewing idea ever, and like I really want to start right now even though it's like literally time to go to bed. Let me bring you into my Pinterest board. I was thinking something like this. I literally have the best fabric to do this with. So that was yesterday, but let's get straight into it. But firstly, I'll just show you the before of what this was. This was my mum's old dress. So this is the before, and now I'm going to turn it into a super cute top like that inspo that I showed you from yesterday's clip. But yes, I really want to start. So let's go. Okay, so the first thing I did was cut off the bust of the dress because I didn't need that and it was just getting in the way. So I moved that to the side for a different project and then moved my focus to the main part of the dress, where I started to cut out a panel that I was going to use for the bust of the new top. I'm still working on cutting straight lines, clearly, but I would definitely say this is an improvement from past projects. Another thing I need to work on is measuring. We all know the quote, measure twice, cut once. Well, clearly I don't know it well enough, because if I did, I wouldn't have been so indecisive as to where to cut, because I would have measured it out perfectly. Anyway, I cut off this section because it was a little bit too long, and then I sort of messed around with the fabric to see if the shape that I wanted was starting to form. It wasn't exactly what I envisioned, so naturally I was a little bit annoyed, but I continued on to the next step, which was the actual sewing. So now you're probably wondering what exactly I'm sewing together. Well, if you noticed in the beginning when I originally cut out this panel, I was cutting both the front and back side of the dress at the same time. So technically I have these two pieces of fabric, which by the way are still attached, but two halves of one piece of fabric. And now I need to sew these halves together so that the front sides are facing each other. The reason I'm doing this is because I want the fabric to be a bit thicker. And not only that, but also when I twist the bust area, I want to make sure that you can't see the white side of the fabric, and therefore it needs to be double-sided. I hope that made sense. But anyway, on to the rest of the top. So I took the skirt, or what was left of it, and essentially cut down one of the seams so that it was no longer a skirt and more like just a big piece of fabric. You can now see in this clip what I'm trying to achieve with this top. But it was at this point that I was a little bit stumped as to what to do next, hence why I just sit there staring at it, because I have no idea how I'm going to attach these two pieces together. After much deliberation with myself, I decided to attach the back part of the double-sided panel to the new piece of fabric. But I needed to ensure I did it very close to the edge so that it wouldn't make it sort of hang in an awkward sort of way, if that makes sense. Also, in that previous clip, you can see me pinning it to the top of the bust, but I ended up actually doing it at the bottom of the bust, which was a much smarter way to do it. So I just sewed that with transparent thread just to make sure that you definitely couldn't see it. Once I finished that, I just cut around the top to get rid of the excess fabric, which I moved to the side for later because we need it to make the back panel and also the straps. And now it was looking like this. So the next step was to get a bit more accurate with the cutting and cut closer to the seam so that I could zigzag stitch it to make sure it didn't fray. At this point, we're making some real progress. Like, look how good this looks. So the next step I needed to do was to stop this from flapping up where you could then see the stitch. So what I was going to do was just to do a little stitch just in a couple places to make sure it didn't flap up. Then I changed the machine to black thread so that I could do the zigzag stitch as I was talking about. And it was low-key very hard because I don't think I left enough fabric to do the zigzag stitch. So it took a lot of time and a lot of attempts, but we finally finished the overlocking. And then my camera died, but while it was charging, I simply just cut out the back panel piece, as you can see there on the right side, and I attached it to the front piece. I then shifted my attention to the back panel of the top and started creating a nice neat hemline so that I didn't have to do an ugly zigzag stitch for everyone to see. After I did the hem, I sewed the back panel onto the other side of the front so that now we had a full-on proper top. I also went along after this and just zigzag stitched this edge and some other raw edges that needed doing. And then I was finally onto the last step, woohoo, which was the straps. So I just measured them out, as you can see here. They were 54 centimeters, which ended up being too long anyway. Then after that singing/drinking break, I cut out the fabric that I needed for the straps. I wanted them quite thick, and pretty much I just folded them in half lengthways so that the front sides were facing each other, and then I just sewed along that line, and ta-da, here's what they were looking like. I then sewed them on to the top, as you can see, trying to be as neat as possible, and then I just zigzag stitched the strap where I had cut it because it was too long, and then voila, here's the end product.
Days seem sometimes as if they'll never end. Sun takes its heels to taunt you, but after sunlit days, one thing stays the same: rises the moon. Days fade into a watercolor blur. Memories swim and haunt you.
So that brings us to the end of the video. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I really made no big mistakes at all, and any that I could fix easily. I can't believe I actually succeeded this well with this top. Like, I'm like, wow. So yeah, I'm really proud of myself, and that took me like a solid 7 hours. I don't know why. It just did. Like, what took me, why did it take that long? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave it a thumbs up and comment below, and also if you're new here, subscribe and join the hand clan, because I'm always posting thrift flips. I've actually done quite a few, so if you're new, go back and check those out. But otherwise, I'll be posting more soon, and thanks for watching. I'm gonna go jump in the pool now because I'm so hot.
But look into the lake, shimmering like smoke, rises the moon. Oh, close your weary eyes. I promise you that soon the autumn comes to die.